5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I need like volume.
That was way fucking loud. My eardrums burst.
Wildly Uninteresting podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Welcome to the Wildly Uninteresting podcast, episode 91. I was thinking the other day, what if we are true to our name and the entire podcast we just talk like really like uninterested and like very condescending, and
Isn't
what if
that
we did
what
that?
we do?
Yeah, I try to do that, and Sarah yells at me.
Yeah. I feel like there would be people that listen to that too, but
Don't
like,
sound bored at my man.
Yeah,
That's right.
dude, if you're like
Be
just bored
interested.
the entire time, monotone, just it's whatever. I don't know. Maybe people could meditate to that.
I feel
People
like
are
that's
meditating
kinda
to the
what my
weirdest
voice
stuff.
Is like anyway.
Yeah, kind of. Sometimes you'll get to
Like
talking,
Daria.
and you're like, it kind of drags on to where you're like, and then I went, and then I went, and then I'm like, are we still talking about the story, or has she gotten lost in her own head? But you do that sometimes. You're right. Yeah.
I just kind of trail off.
Yeah.
Pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a butterfly in a field,
Aw,
trailing
in a
off.
field.
Do you like that?
Field butterfly.
No, man.
But if you're the butterfly, then the story's totally different.
We've been away for a
That's right.
week, and we're in a new year. What's funny to me is people are so excited about a new year, yet it is only one day to where it crosses over into New Year. It's not like COVID is like gone because it's New Year,
Everything's new.
or like we're not headed for destruction or anything. Like nothing's anew. Like nothing. It didn't change. Like
Well,
I
it
woke
could
up
just
the
be
next
a
morning.
marker.
What?
It could just be a marker of
For?
where we're actually going to put in effort now to make it better
yeah.
or different.
Gotta wait until it's a new year though to actually put forth effort.
Yeah.
When-
Well, it's because it's a big enough thing to where like everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Because I could say now, oh, I'm going to start recycling more and thinking more about the environment.
Yeah.
But not everybody's in that mindset. But on the new year, everybody's like, hey, maybe
They're there.
maybe it's something I'm fine with.
And people
Can you
get
turn me back
fucking
down? I'm
gaslighted. People get
I don't know. Is
gaslighted
this
from.
me? Is this me?
No, you're
Is
number
it-
2.
Damn it.
Look, you didn't do this before we
There you
started,
go.
and now we're
I'm
all
so
fucked.
quick to fucking start.
Dude, yeah, hunger will make you do that. No,
About to get wild on this podcast.
but when is it that you stopped doing the whole? Oh, it's New Year's. Let me recite a bunch of resolutions that I'm never gonna fucking get around to.
I don't know.
Because I stopped
20
probably.
something?
Yeah, like 5-6 years ago, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Actually, while I was in prison, is probably when it stopped, because I just like, who's gonna make a resolution in prison?
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna be a better person. Why? I'm in prison.
I resolved to finish my slop.
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking do 20 push-ups instead of 10 for the rest of
Although-
my life.
That would be good.
Right. But
You
it's
know,
super weird.
I don't know. I still try to, like, in the back of my mind, be a better person in some sense, but I don't make any resolutions anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not even because I don't want to make progress. It's just that whenever I pick something specific to do, I'm gung-ho about it for a minute.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't really a part of me, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that again.
You know,
Right.
that's what always weirds me out. Like, what makes something a part of you? It's like that book I was reading, Atomic Habits, and they were like, you know, there's things that we feel real adamant about, and we really, really want to get to them and hop on top of whatever, right? And then once you get into it and it seems hard or whatever, you don't instill it as a discipline. So you don't end up doing it in the end. Like, you end up doing whatever's easiest because you didn't make the goal easy, right? Because there's a way to make even the hardest of goals easy. And we don't do it. And then we go back to the same bullshit, complaining about the same shit.
I always just assume that if it's something that you really want to do, you're going to do it. It doesn't matter when it is.
Yeah.
I think the only resolution I ever made was to stop biting my nails, which just recently, I'd say in the last like 4 or 5 years happened.
Yeah.
And until then, nope, I could just never do it. And then one day it's like I just stopped thinking about biting my nails. And
Yeah.
every once in a while, I'll still like kind of nitpick at it because it like breaks, and I'm trying to even it out, just gnawing at the bitch. But
It's the only way to not do that.
It's not habitual.
yeah,
Don't do that. Like if it's red, just wait
Don't
for
do that.
clippers, because I always do that and they end up bleeding.
oh yeah,
every
because
time.
it always pulls like way too far down, like this one did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it feels like dog shit.
it
Yeah.
feels fucking terrible.
No, the resolution thing though, I don't know what about it. I guess it's like getting into a new relationship, right? So you get in there and it's all beautiful and things are great, and then you get 5 years into that relationship and you realize that, oh, it's just a relationship. Like every other relationship will ever be. It is what it is. And then you get bored and you're like, I want that, that first go round with somebody again. And then you end up either cheating or leaving that person and finding another one, doing the same shit. And then, right? And that's what a resolution is, right? It doesn't feel good to us after, 2 or 3 months. So then we just quit. When I went to the gym a whole lot, like every day, every year around this time, dude, you'd
was
have an
terrible in that
influx
bitch.
Oh, yeah.
of just people like, I'm going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And they'd come in, they'd all get memberships. It would be packed. Ask Sarah, dude, packed for like up until April. And in April, it was like a switch. They would all go away.
You could see it like dwindle out though. So like January there was a shit ton. February there was a shit ton, but fewer for sure.
Yeah.
March it was like almost back to normal, and April it was like nobody knew had ever been there. So
Well, they start to see progress. They're like, okay, I feel good about myself again.
Right.
Now I can stop.
Now, and then there was a
done
big
it.
group of people that would just get the membership for like the keychain and stuff. Because I can't tell you how many people will buy that thing, like just the membership to have the keychain, so that it's like a conversation starter when they're at the bar or whatever, and they're like, yeah, I just been going like 2-3 days a week. It's nothing big. Or at work or some bullshit. It's
I'd
a
like to meet these
conversation.
people.
yeah,
I've
it's
never
something
met
big,
that
yeah.
person.
You haven't met them? I just go, whatever. Like people, I don't know. People are just so weird, man.
Yeah.
Like people weird me out. I just don't I try to understand them. I try to like get on the same level as other people and understand the madness, but I just I don't think I can comprehend.
I think it all just stems from wanting to put minimal effort and get maximum comfort.
Yeah.
That's humanity.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends like that.
Sounds good.
And then you just think, all right, well, what can you do? They really just want to watch TV.
Yeah.
It's really, if you want to know people, you just need to know what they want to watch on TV.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
There you
Definitely.
go. And then if you look at like the top 10 on Netflix, essentially the country.
Dude, we did that last night.
It's terrible.
We watch something when we eat dinner, and I was like, what are these fucking shows? They all looked horrible, and one was a cartoon literally for children. It was like Caillou, if you know what Caillou is.
It's that bald fuck.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was essentially that, but I can only imagine that it was a little different. But it was a bald little bitch baby, so I don't. Maybe it was just based off that. It was all horrible. I would never watch any of that shit.
But there's people that wait for those episodes and watch it every week because they're fucking dumb.
It's going to drop.
It's gonna drop.
But I guess there's people that probably think I'm insane for watching Criminal Minds and Special Victims Unit and shit because it's about rape and murder and all kinds of horrible shit. But
I will say though, like for last year, where I was really like deep into like reading book after book after book, and then I kind of, I don't know what happened. I think I failed to find like a new author. Like if I didn't find one before the book was done, I'd kind of trail off. And you bought that book for me. I've been so excited to listen to it, and getting back into that level of reading it and wanting to do better. Whereas before, I got away from books and then started watching TV more.
Yeah.
And I realized the downplay that my brain does, right, compared to when I'm reading books and learning and watching TV mindlessly. So I know the difference. I feel like a dog piece of shit when I'm watching TV all the time instead of like reading or learning or going forth and finding videos
I
to
wonder
watch
what
and
that
learning.
is, though, because it doesn't bother me to watch TV, whether it's educational or just, Criminal Minds. Like, it just doesn't make me feel like a bad person. I feel like I'm sitting down to relax. I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want to do,
Yeah.
and I want to watch Criminal Minds.
Well, that's what you want to do, yeah.
Whatever it is.
I think I'm too self-judgmental. Like, I judge myself and, like, talk shit to myself all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess it comes with that, too.
Plus, I think if you're watching specific things, it's a little less terrible than if you're just channel surfing.
Yeah.
I just want to watch something for the sake of watching something.
Yeah.
You're like, well, this speaks to my interests. So.
I think, too, like you said, interest, like, I'm not like a crazy like true crime person or anything, but I like watching specifically Criminal Minds because I notice things and I'm like, oh, well, that's similar to this case that I've read about, or this case. Like, that's what they're drawing off of here. That's neat to me. So that's about it.
Pretty sweet, yes.
That's my part. Bye.
I don't know. I think there's a big difference, though, in learning from, like, what you're watching or reading or whatever, and then, like you said, mindlessly surfing and doing nothing with your time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes you feel like and then, like, because we've had more jobs and working more often, I've put a lot of other stuff, like, on the back burner. And now we picked up the last, like, week where I'm doing stuff that I actually enjoy and, like, working towards the goal. And I feel better at the end of the day than I do when I'm just like working and going to sleep and working and going to sleep.
Well, that shit gets old.
Yeah, dude. I can see why people like kill themselves when they're like working too much. Jump off the building and stuff.
Because you don't feel like doing anything else or have time to do anything else.
I guess it's a good thing that our organs aren't conscious.
For real.
That would
It's
be
very
terrible.
good.
Your heart would just be like, I'm tired of having the same.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna spike.
I wonder if your colon could talk, what would it say? What would it say about what you eat?
You don't feed me enough colon blow.
Colon blow.
Mine would be fucking jacked because I eat so many vegetables. I'd be so happy. I was gonna say
Reminds
something
me.
gross. I guess we've talked about shit before on here anyway. I don't need to wipe whenever I shit. I mean, I do obviously to make sure, but never do I need to. It's awesome.
That's
You
great.
don't know until you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
makes me happy.
No.
Yeah.
If we could go back to the resolution thing for a moment.
Over with the colons.
I don't know. The colons can come back. Fix that camera, please. But
Please.
with the resolutions and shit, it's like, oh, why do people still, like I was in my 20s when I gave up resolutions. It took you forever. Took her forever. If we didn't make resolution, think about the amount of time it takes to make a change on something as simple as not making resolutions anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
And then how long anything else at all takes to change. It's a
That's
miracle
right.
that anything ever changes. So
Ever.
if we
Say
didn't do
that
the
it
stupid
ever.
repetitious shit that people are like, oh, why are you gonna, because nothing would ever change if we didn't do that dumb shit.
Do you think we'd be better off doing novel things more often or doing the repetitive stuff more often like we're doing now?
I think the repetitive stuff is good. 'Cause it's better to have a foundation of predictability than uncertainty.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if the routine stuff is what's really making changes? It just takes a really long time to do it.
Yeah.
For some
I
reason,
guess
like
we don't have any like thing to judge it against.
Yeah.
So we know that it takes a long time for change.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it is the repetitiveness that creates change.
yeah,
And like change makers like Elon Musk or something like that, right? Comes in and he's like, oh, we want to do this, but they have to do repetitive shit to get to that goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can see that, I guess.
If you don't make stuff, then there's no stuff.
that's right. Where'd all the stuff go?
I don't know. It went into the fire.
New fire, stuff fire,
Old fire.
old fire.
But no, I don't know. I don't really get down on resolutions anymore though. I don't
That's
think
fine.
I don't think they're worth it. And then but I hate like your buddies that are like come at you with this like, say I'm just doing like normal shit. I'm going to work. I'm doing my thing, right? I don't want to hear your bullshit. And then you come into my life, whether via text, call, I see you during the day, and you're like, bro. And then you tell me this like beefed up story about what you're going to do with your life and stuff like that, knowing that here in a couple months you're going to like, I want to punch you square in the face for ever coming and talking to me about this shit. I don't care, right?
Yeah.
How many do you care if one of your friends come up and tell you all this shit? I don't care.
No.
Just ask them about their resolutions from last year.
Yeah, how'd that
Right,
work
how'd
out?
they
for you?
go?
What kind of change did you make last year, dumbass?
So I
Think
started
about-
writing them down because people have texted me about it and called me about it. So I wrote them down. That way, when 2022 comes, I can rub it in their face for
Yeah,
not doing it.
that's right. And
I'm
they'll leave,
jacked.
and they'll leave you alone in 2023.
They're not going to come to me. I'm going to have no friends.
No friends.
This
That's
guy's
what I was
gonna-
going to say.
He's gonna piss all over my stuff. I'm not talking to him this year. And then you've won.
I won.
But by
I'm set back.
2024, they'll come groveling back. They're like, man, you were so right. I don't ever do shit.
I don't do nothing.
Now I've just given up.
That's a good place to be. If you could,
Give up America.
if you could pick to be yourself as you are right now
Right.
for the rest of your life,
Right.
all the pains, all the suffering, all the good, all the bad, or live a full life and then die at the age of 80, 90, would you stay the age you are now
No,
for the rest of your
I
life?
definitely want
Would you want to get old?
to die. Yeah, I like the idea of getting old.
Really?
I already,
Only to get out.
Yeah.
well, it was just that I already like borderline don't give a shit, and older women just don't give a fuck, and I
No.
cannot wait to be that old lady.
Hell
And
yeah.
openly
Good.
not give a fuck.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be wonderful. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
'Cause all the crap leading up to it is just gonna make you care so much less.
Yeah, hell yes.
It's gonna be glorious.
I
I'm
hope
so
by
like
then.
internally and soulfully an elderly woman. I'm gonna make the best old woman. I look forward to it.
I hope at least by then, like, whatever house we're in is like paid off, like all my vehicles, all that shit, and I have like a little bit of retirement that I know I can just like live. That way,
Yeah.
it can be a dickhead the rest of my life, and then just die.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
die.
I just want to like chill at the house and then die. Like that's it. There's nothing that I want to like go and like go to move to Florida or anything like that. I just want to like live and die. That's
Yeah.
it. I just want to die.
Because it's your life.
Actually, I'll go right
now
now.
or never. You know?
Like if they want to go ahead and call me home, call me. Call me home.
Call
We
me
know
home.
you want to kill yourself. We
I
talk
know.
about it every episode.
I
No.
do. I know. One of these days, there's going to be an episode without me because I am going to be dead, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode.
100.
If you had to guess, which one would it be?
I was thinking like 2,400 something.
Ooh, okay. I got a little bit of time
I was
left.
gonna say 92
there. No,
next week.
Yeah, my first thought was like 100 something.
Yeah.
Then I thought about how long that is from now, and I was like, well, God, that's probably like this year or next year.
I think about like what we were watching that episode of Criminal Minds.
That's right.
And we watched this, like, it was about a cult that, like, freezes you to death, but then brings you back to life. Like,
Yeah.
they shock you back to life. And I thought, how cool would that be, like, if somebody, because there's ways to do that. You can bring me to the brink of death, and then you could shock me back, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to cross over just a little bit. Let the heart stop for, like, however long that it can stop without brain damage. Let it stop, and then bring me back. I just want to see, even if I'm on the cusp of what's on the other side of the door, let me in. You know what I mean? Just let me peek. And then I'll come back. I won't tell nobody. I'll keep it to myself and go on about my day. I'll be happy about it. I just want to know.
You might not remember it.
I just want to know.
Yeah.
In that book, dude, every time I look,
Book.
the
Atomic
Maps
Habits?
of Meaning,
Oh, that one.
Okay.
every time I like listen to, and it feels like 3 hours, I look down and I'm only 25% through the book, like,
Yeah.
which is glorious.
Hell
But I've
yeah.
noticed,
My God, you finished a quarter of that bitch already?
yes, I've been
Damn.
like listening to
That's
it,
good.
and it's win it, and it's interesting that a man that is not, he's not like a Christian faith churchgoer, right? A lot of his teachings and like part of his lesson is to do with Christianity, Buddhism, all that. He tells all those stories because like he explains them as they all originate from the same place, the same place of wanting and knowledge and all that they all come, like we're destined to come up with a story. We have always had a story that we base our moral compass on, which is like Christianity, Buddhism, something, whatever culture you're a part of. I just think it's so cool. Like he doesn't disprove it, but he does say, it's like an ideological teaching and like lets you interpret it yourself. But I like how he brings that in, but also tells you, it's a story. Don't believe too much into it.
Yeah.
But, devise a moral compass with it.
Yeah. It's
Just
like there's truth within it, but don't get hung up on it.
Yeah. Move on.
The specifics are not important.
No.
It's
some
getting
enlightened shit, instead of getting bogged down in the details. It's like, okay, here's the essence of the truth from all of it.
Yeah.
Here's what you need.
Yeah. Like, and I like that, right? He tells you the place, like, those were born, like, where those ideals and thoughts and all that was born. I like that, right? He's like, it's born within this part of your subconscious or conscious mind, I like that. Like, I like knowing where, that shit comes from.
It is really cool.
And then you, like, look at the people, because I swear to God, if I have to go to another fucking, family event where I have to hear my goddamn new grandma talk about Jesus,
Oh, gosh.
the thing that kills me is, like, I'm so for you being with Jesus and God and be as holy as you want.
Leave me out of it.
Not only leave me out of it, but talk about something else, right? Like, I'll be like, yeah, we had a hard day at work. And she'll be like, well, God has a purpose for all that hard work. I don't give a shit.
Out for you.
Yeah.
She was talking about him for so long.
So long, dude.
Multiple family members of his came and took pictures of us because I was like dry-eyed and drooling. Like I was about to fall asleep. That's how long she talked about it.
She was telling me, like, how the blessings of Jesus play into life and stuff. And Sarah was like falling asleep. No, none of my family, because I'm too nice to shut her up. None of my family members came in there and was like, wanted to interrupt it just a little bit for me to like turn and get distracted by something. I have a nice way of changing the subject.
Mind you, I'm here. She was here. Adam was here. So Adam's to my right. She was to my left. She never once spoke to me.
Right.
She spoke to him as I were his property.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Bitch, this is a problem.
No,
It's
but
a
this
real
is
problem.
From a
This
good
is an-
Christian perspective,
yes.
you are.
That's what I'm
Absolutely
saying.
not.
From an old, like the old way of like being and teaching, right? Okay, like back when I was young, my grandparents used to do Thanksgiving and shit, right? Not the holiest of people, but, right? They went to church all the time, and they would cook the entire Thanksgiving. My mom, my grandma, all the women, and they would
The hands
make
in the kitchen.
they would make the men eat first. They were like, men eat first, blah blah blah, then we'll
Make
eat,
them.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it always baffled me as a young kid. I was like, I don't quite get that
Yeah,
because
this doesn't
you
make
cooked
any
it.
sense, right?
Like you just like sweat and slaved over this meal. You should eat first, and we'll clean up the fucking plates, right? No,
Sarah never eats first.
no, but
I don't, but I can get that. The idea of like bringing all the men in is absurd. I just feel like everyone line the fuck up.
And eat,
But
yeah.
as someone who has prepared the food, I do want other people to get it first. But if y'all are taking too long, best believe I'm gonna make my plate and sit the fuck down.
But those old Christians, man, have that. It's the teaching of the man leads, the woman follows, which
Yeah.
is absurd because, like, I think you should
Now.
walk together.
But think about
Maybe
back
back
in the day
then.
when all this shit started. You had your hunter-gatherer shit.
Yeah.
The dudes are out there killing everything and like protecting people from other tribes and shit.
Yeah,
In that context, it's fine.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
the roles have seriously changed, which I don't mind. I think that we're headed for like technologically advanced society, and I think women can comprehend like the technology side, the thinking side of the world more, where men just grab hammers and we swing them. Like we're Neanderthals, where women are thinkers and you know what I
We're
mean.
doers.
Dude,
Who are the big tech people?
I
Are they
don't
men
know.
or women?
I don't know.
They're men.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah.
But that blows that whole out of proportion. But
It
like,
does.
Well, I think
whereas
But
like
you
office
tried.
workers, like, back when women are more office jobs, men are more like labor jobs, right? And the office jobs are now making more, where women now in the household are the breadwinners, where men kind of fall to the wayside unless you whatever. So my thing is, like, I'm not too fucked up about that, because in the animal kingdom, the lioness hunts and the man sits there and like lazy as fuck, which I never got. But I'm just saying, like, I'm comfortable with like you making more than me, but I know some men don't, and they beat their wife because they're like, you will be underneath me. I know it's weird,
Yeah.
but back in
Well, I
the
mean,
day
some men
though,
are small-minded,
yeah,
and then whenever they don't have the
They're-
brains, they resort to their brawn.
yeah, they're like, I'll just beat her into submission.
Yeah.
She keeps talking too much, man. I'll beat her up.
Oh yeah, I'm a big talker. Just chitter chatter all day long.
Chitter
Chit
chatter.
chat, chit.
But then, I don't know. I mean, the idea of switching the roles and shit is fine, as long as it's with the right intent.
It's
To where it's like, let's exist as a couple or as a culture and move forward and thrive. But if it's like, well, it's my turn now.
right.
Oh, if it's in, yeah,
because it's just the mentality behind it.
I feel
yeah.
like just the way that society works has kind of changed, and that's why women tend to be like, they're like moving up and stuff. So if I'm going to use this term like very loosely, but like the soft sciences are becoming more prominent, and people are recognizing them for how important they actually are. So psychology, all like emotional stuff.
Yeah.
And forever, that didn't matter. You just shut up, stuff it down, go about your day. And women have more, I guess, emotional ability. And
Yeah.
I think that's why it's becoming that way. It's because it's more prominent.
Yeah. Well, they have more interest in it for the most part.
Yeah, there's
And-
very few men in the field of like
Yeah.
counseling and psychology.
I know, it's like overwhelmingly female.
But again, whenever we study stuff, it's Maslow.
Oh yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Jung, but-
All the main people that you hear about are dudes for sure.
But then,
It's a fucking
is it-
problem.
Is it because they were the ones thinking about stuff, like actually putting in the work?
I'd say it's a little bit of because of during the time women weren't able so easily to get into the field and do things without being, assaulted and pushed out.
Right. What about like underground psychological knowledge from women? Does any of that exist? Like, I've never found any, but I've also never looked for it because I never thought of it until just now.
It's awesome. I haven't specifically looked for it, but I can't recall a time that I've come across any. So
Right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you think the people that made a lot of things and invented shit, it's just like white dudes. But then you got like George Washington Carver or whatnot. It's like, hey, there's the exception.
Yeah.
This dude did what he did.
yeah.
Where are the women exceptions?
What's that bitch's name? Murray. What's it? I can't remember. I'll just look it up.
The crazy thing is, when it comes to like medically speaking, I'm more comfortable with like a woman doing my, like, say I have to have a finger in the ass. I want a woman to do it, right? I don't want
Yeah.
another dude sticking his finger in my ass. If I have to have a
Well, their fingers are smaller. It makes sense. It's like
if I have to have a physical, I'd rather a female like look at my nutsack than a male. Like, I've had both, and I'm just more comfortable. And when it comes to like issues, when I'm like, I shit too much, or my dick won't get hard, or
Right.
enter whatever fucking thing happens in life, right? I would much rather speak to a woman who can like sympathize a little bit better. Not sympathize, but empathize. She's more empathy than a man. A man looks at you just like, oh, okay. All right, okay, right? Where a woman's like, she gives you that, like, very expressive, like, oh, okay, and then she wants to help. So it makes you feel
It's a different
more
kind
comfortable.
of like attention
Yeah.
in regards to just when I think of male doctors, typically they're just like gruff and kind of like in and out. And every female doctor I think I've ever been to, with the exception of like one, has been very, they sit there. You don't feel like they're in a hurry to get out. They're giving you focus. You can talk to them about whatever you need to. Done and over with. But
yeah, bedside manner's cool.
yeah, it seems.
I don't really give a shit how it happens. If it's a chick that cares or a dude that doesn't, as long as they know what they're doing, I don't give a shit.
For me, the only thing that I want my gynecologist to be a woman, but other than that, I don't care.
See, I was thinking like with Adam saying, you know, if he's got somebody looking at his nuts, you know, you'd prefer a woman.
Yeah.
And then I thought about the whole gynecological stuff, where it's like chicks prefer chicks because they know what they're doing, like they have the bits.
Right.
And I thought, you know, if I got a dude or a chick looking at my nuts, I'd prefer a dude.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that he has nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say I've had quite a few physicals before I went to jail and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I have had 3 or 4 afterwards for like work and shit. And I'll say that after, like, because before I was real self-conscious and like, oh, I fucking wear a girdle when I take a shower in the men's football team. Like, I did, man. When I was younger, I was so fucking weirded out about taking showers with other guys after the football game that the first few times I wore a girdle. Like, I wore my shorts.
I thought you were just giving a weird, like, hypothetical.
No, I actually did that shit because I was so self-conscious, right?
Yeah.
But after jail and stuff, because jail, they don't give a shit. Like, you're going to take either that or you hold it and die. Like,
here's your bed stuff. Here's
Yeah.
your shower girdle.
Yeah. So after that, I was more comfortable and like more comfortable about being naked around people. That's why I wore a fucking Speedo more often when I got out, because fuck it. But I think I just more comfortable. It got me more comfortable with myself and being a male. And you were like, women gynecologists would be better. We actually watched a thing that was, you know, explaining how women don't really discover themselves often. So they don't even know what's going on with themselves.
You'd be amazed how few women know anything about their vaginas. It's nuts. Well, and technically,
it's not nuts. Did I beat you to it?
No, I was going to say vagina is not the correct term. It's not.
But they don't. Like, we watched it, and like they had a...
Yes, it is.
They had a class where you would go in and they would stick a mirror in front of the lady with her legs crossed, and then the teacher would go through each section and allow the like woman to become comfortable and not sexualize her vagina, but see it as like a work of art. Like, and I was like, that's fucking awesome. And then they had another class with gay dudes, bears, right? And they would all get naked together and like hug and stuff, which I'm sure it was for other gay men. But I could see where that would be beneficial for men. You know?
I think technically anybody could go, but I would say the majority of the people that went were gay men.
Yeah.
Most of the people that go to Comic-Con and stuff are comic nerds.
Yeah.
But anybody can go.
Anybody can go. I would definitely, I don't know, man. Aside from like a dude touching my like looking at me while he's touching my dick, like that would be weird, right? But I could be naked in a room full of naked dudes.
Well,
Might not feel great about myself. But,
with the whole like medical side of it, I feel you're more comfortable with women. Like, it's just how it is.
Am,
I mean, and no matter
not
what
even
the
in a
situation,
sexual way,
exactly. Yeah, no matter what the situation is, I feel like you just relate to women a little bit better on that emotional level anyway.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
emotional level.
you're as much of a man's man as you could be. But
I feel like a lot of men need to be like okay with that and accept that they're more emotional than other men, right?
Yeah,
because a lot of them,
anger is an emotion. So if you're just sitting over there stewing and pissed, you're being emotional, but not in a cool way.
And a lot of that suppression of those emotions turns into aggression because you're shoving down all these emotions that you could just let out. You could cry every now and then, blah, blah, blah.
It's pressure.
Yeah. And you end up like taking that shit out on your kids and your wife. I mean, you hear all those stories all the time where the dad was too fucking like, you know, hard on the kids and now he's a serial killer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or he beats the wife.
I think, with the idea of the dudes and like the pressure and shit, they turn on their wife and kid, you know. Everybody's like, oh, those men are fucking pussies, you know, they're but then there's a whole subculture of like chicks that murder their husbands.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Fuck yeah, dude, get it, girl."
Yeah. But it's because women have been oppressed. They're like, fuck yeah, bitches, rise up and kill these motherfuckers.
Hell
Like,
yeah, dude.
people get excited, but I mean, I don't think it's fine either way.
Right.
But,
But yeah,
it is very interesting, I guess. I think,
as a misanthrope, I don't care either way.
right.
But I just think it's interesting.
I think it's very interesting that they're becoming more and more female criminals in general.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because there's more women in the world now, or if
I
we're
think,
Dude, I don't.
It's like
I don't know.
I think it's all just like a tortoise in the hare type thing. Women were kind of complacent and doing
Yeah.
their thing for a while,
Too
and now
scared to fucking do
and now
anything.
it's finally an exploratory time for women.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you think women
Oh.
are more comforting than men. Comfort is equatable to the known.
yeah.
And then women are finally like, okay, well, this isn't working anymore. Let's explore.
Let me explore my dark
We
side.
we can't leave it to the men to explore because you see what happens when they do.
Right.
Yeah.
They keep what they find.
Damn
I
it.
like those untrusting eyes. Keep what they find.
Hell yeah, dude.
I think too, though, it falls on a standpoint where the men, usually a good man, not like all of them, of course, will take the rap when it comes to doing crime. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like men and women usually do crimes together. And the man's usually like, that's all mine. She didn't do anything because
Right.
we're in a protective stance. Usually, most guys. We're talking about guys with a fucking conscience. But you have that where that happens, and I've been in that situation multiple times where I'm like, nope, they didn't do anything or whatever, and you take the rap for that. Well, maybe now women are just doing it, and the law is finding out that women do just as much crime as men do,
Yeah.
and but I feel like too they have like kids. So the court looks at them like, well, they gotta, they keep giving them chance after chance because
Yeah, if we don't let them out, then we're going to have to raise that kid.
we don't want to do that.
We got
We're already
enough of
raising
'em.
5 of her kids. We don't raise a 6th one. I don't know, man. That's something that we noticed when I was locked up. Like there was more women that came in, and more women that came in for aggressive crimes, which was baffling. I was like, you don't normally see that. You see like drug offenses and domestic violence and stuff, but you were seeing it for like assault and battery.
credit card
Oh, yeah.
offenses and shit, writing
ID
bad
thefts.
checks.
Yeah. That was a big one too. But they started coming in for aggressive crimes, and it's like things are changing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when you introduce drugs into the equation, which usually crimes stem from some sort of drug use. You have a lot of irrational behavior, like stuff that's very like what's it called when you're impulsive behavior from women. So they get to the point you don't give a shit.
Oh yeah.
Give me the drugs. I'm
Wild
gonna beat
out.
you up.
Don't get fucked up. Give me them drugs.
Give me them drugs.
Well, and now we're allowed to be anything that we want to be. Everyone.
yeah.
I mean, there's female rappers. There's female everything. So
Yeah.
sure, all these women are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a thug or whatever. I don't know.
I'm a thug queen.
No, I don't know, man. There's oftentimes, though, I think back to, like, the days that were bad. And, like, now, I've realized the age change. Like, when I was 20, everything was impulsive. And if I wanted it, I was getting it right then and there, right? Whether that had to do with drugs or money, whatever. I'm going to fucking like, rob somebody.
Absolutely.
Pizza. No, I'm going to rob somebody. I'm going to do something to get whatever the fuck I want to do because it was very impulsive and I didn't realize that there was a world beyond myself, right? And I've noticed, like, in my 30s, right, or my 30, whatever.
My 30. The 130.
The time period between 25 and 30, I've realized in the times that I've slipped as far as, like, drug use and stuff, like, I realize and I catch myself, which it's funny to see the age difference from like 20 and 25 and 26, where I had those slips. I got to look and be like, what is it doing to the people around me? Like, what is this going to lead to? Or am I going to go back to that and hurt all the people around me and stuff? And it keeps me in line. Whereas,
Hell yeah.
it
didn't
I'm not
fucking
in,
matter before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something I was thinking about in the car. Like, how does it not matter then, but now I'm like, oh, and it bugs me when I hurt people around me. Like, it's weird. I mean, it's good, but
Well, because every now you're not a cracked out druggie.
right.
You can actually think about people.
That's
But
right.
then I think with the idea of don't just think about yourself, that kind of thing. Like people that push that, they tell you to not just think about yourself because they want you to consider them.
Yeah. Yes.
Seems a little selfish,
A
doesn't it?
little selfish.
Sure does.
But there's
But,
people that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Oh, there's people that don't grow
I
out
was
of
like,
that.
well, I'll talk then.
Like there's parents of drug addicts that they never grew up out of that impulse. There's people who don't grow out of that. I realize that there's people who stay stagnant 20s, like, or 16 for that matter. Like I've seen very, very immature adults, and they just stay in that habit. You know what I mean? A
yeah.
habit of being just
A child.
impulsive, childish, self-centered, and they never like seeked anything outside of that because they didn't have to for some reason.
Right. It's mine.
For
Gimme
some
it.
reason.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be where I'm at now, which I'm sure I could be further along if I would have just stayed on track in the beginning. But
Couldn't we all?
yeah, if it hadn't been for Prit, like I don't 100% want to take that back. Like that's an experience a lot of people never get.
Well, it's like the guns and butter thing, You only put so much money into either one. But if you hadn't gone through your terrible shit, you wouldn't be like you are now. So if you
Maybe-
just stayed on track, so to speak,
Yeah.
like you might be better off financially or whatever, but you wouldn't be Adam.
Right.
You'd be Adam too.
Maybe that's
and
where
we
all
don't
the
like him.
No,
like
fuck
the
him.
impulsiveness and childishness, maybe prison helped that. Like maybe that's why I can visually see outside of myself now. Whereas
Yeah.
before I might have just been 20 the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And that's a bad place to be. You don't want to be there.
It's dead now. You're rocking your 30.
My 30.
Oh, shit.
Feels so good to be 30.
Well, you're
then
about to be 31.
I
so-
know, dude. But that's the only thing. I'm not thinking about resolutions, but now that I have 4 months left in 30, I'm like, I have to do something big within my 30-year
Yeah.
period. That way I can look back and be like, oh, when I was 30, I did this.
You
When I was
need to
31,
make
I
a
did this.
rocket and strap it to your back and try to get through the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. man.
I
Or
wholeheartedly
at least on
believe
top
that you
of the
can.
house.
Yeah.
Is there? I wonder if.
I made it 10 feet or 20, whatever it is. I don't know.
Baby,
Be
throw
fun
me a
ride.
sandwich. A celebratory sandwich.
Crack a beer up there. Like, I can visually see that. It'd be fucked up.
I imagine throwing the sandwich and all the pieces going everywhere.
It'd be nice though if
My
the,
lettuce.
like you're strapped to the rocket takes off, and your just harness fell off, and then you hit the fucking roof, and the rocket takes off to outer space, and you're, God damn it, I could have been on top of that thing.
I knew I should have put the camera on the apparatus itself.
Oh, what a
No,
good idea.
I wonder what the laws are. Like, if I start building a rocket in my backyard,
Yeah.
will the FBI show up? More than likely.
I feel like the cops would show up because it
First.
seems like it would be
Handle
more
with
of like
them.
zoning type things, Like if you can't build a shed without getting stuff looked at, you probably can't build a rocket.
So what I'm hearing is we just have to get our home rezoned
Yeah.
for rocket
for
building.
rocket building.
I need that rocket building zoning.
I'm gonna start digging the silo now. The underground silo.
I love it.
Don't go any deeper than 50 feet, though.
Why?
What's
Because you'll
under
get to
50 feet?
China?
That was just a number I picked.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was like, he knows the zoning committee's restriction.
It's my
On
fucker didn't
holding
know
it.
anything
I
about
don't
zoning.
know. I just know it's a thing.
No,
I was
that's
thinking like 16, and then there's all kinds of shit under there.
I do know that there's a common thing of people living in like little houses,
yeah.
and you have them on somebody else's property.
Yep.
And then they're all like, no, it's not zoned properly for this.
Yeah.
It was like, it's my property. Why
But
not?
it don't, yeah.
No, it's your property, but you can't do that with
Can't
it.
do it. That's,
But it's essentially a shed. Yeah, but you live in it.
you live in it.
You
yeah.
can't live in your shed.
I'd be like,
I can't live
prove
in a
it.
shed or my car.
No, there's like in our book
Absurd.
what is considered a dwelling, like if it has like a basin in it where you can take a bath and shit like that in a bedroom, where living
basin.
quarters, yeah, or like it's what separates that from an office building type whatever. But I can see that because on our fucking mortgage or our deed, whatever you want to call it, it says single family dwelling only. That's what it's zoned for. So if I put a tiny house back there and like move my parents in, say, or anybody else, you for that matter, then they're gonna come in and be like, you went against what your deed says.
Hell
So
yeah. They made sure during our closing to say multiple times, single family dwelling.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess if you like say we bought it from the people and then I'm paying the taxes, right, then it could be whatever you want. But as long as you're on their fucking their ticket, like you can't do nothing with it. It's weird.
That's annoying.
That's why I hope this year that I make like $200,000 because the house is getting paid off. I hate the fact that I know after we said it on the podcast today, like I know I don't technically own it until I own it, right? So I know that they can do whatever they want. Really, when it comes down to it, I might have paid money to them. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And people who say I own my own home, you don't yet. You know what I mean? Another country can move in, rip that shit up, and be like, give us whatever you got.
You're renting it from the bank.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So if I hold me to that, $200,000 in the next year, I'm just paying it. I
Hell
can't
yeah.
wait to walk into that dude and be like, hey, what would it cost for me to pay it off? And he just say a weird number, thinking he's not going to be able to pay this. And drop it down. I don't want nothing. I don't want a Lamborghini. I
Well,
don't want
sir,
a Porsche.
you
I
can't
want that.
pay it off early.
No, we
I'll punch
actually
him in the
can. We
face.
made sure.
Yeah, okay, good.
I'll punch him in the face.
Figured they pull something.
They
Well,
actually-
technically, look in the fine print.
Yeah, this little bitty fine print can't pay off early. Like, damn, that's really specific.
Then imagine a bunch of banks like taking their stuff back a month before somebody pays it
Oh.
off.
Oh,
The uprising.
The murder.
No.
They
would-
actually gave us a thing where it broke it down from month to month. If you pay like this amount extra each month, you can pay it off in 15 or 7 or 3.5 years, whatever you want to do.
Let me tell you this right now, right? I guess when I was younger, it really didn't dawn on me what interest meant.
Yeah.
But, dude, they fucking rob people. I looked at the interest rate, a median across all credit cards, right? 20-something percent. That's a median. That means that there's higher, like 26.
Yeah.
26. If I have $50,000 in debt, that's actually 70 to 80. Not counting all the fees, administrative fees, stuff like that
God
pop up.
forbid you pay a payment late. There
Oh
we go.
God, you don't want to pay it. But we looked. If we actually did the 30-year loan, that you would pay 95% of all the payments that you paid in are interest.
Yeah.
Interest.
I looked at our thing for our mortgage for the year. Our mortgage is almost $900. It was like $1,500 went to the principal. I mean, it was absurd how much it was that went to the principal.
That's
it was
why-
nothing.
That's why we save and save and save, and then we're just gonna go pay it in a lump sum.
Right.
Just pull our dicks out, put it on the table, and just be like,
Put the money on top.
it's paid, sucker fish.
Our dicks. Like we both have
we both
one.
have dicks. Yours might be bigger than mine.
That's awesome.
That's I'm telling you, man. I don't want nothing. Like I don't even want to be. I don't want to be famous anymore. I don't want to be shit. I want to pay my home off this year. If I could do that, dude,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
lighting this bitch on fire just because. Just because I
That's mine.
can.
I'm burning it down.
Can we get shit out of it first?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's not
yeah.
gonna be like a chaotic burn. It's a controlled burn.
Controlled. Yeah.
God.
I better watch them out though. It'll fucking actually catch on fire, and then they'll be looking at me like, "You actually."
With
did
the way
this."
the electric in this bitch is, it's a possibility.
I told a customer that the other day. I was going through like the problems in our electric, and he was like, "You're an electrician, bro." I was like, "That doesn't matter. I don't want to go home and do electric."
Bitch, I do this all day long. You think I want to go work on my house at the end of
You
the
should
day?
take a vacation just to work on your
to
house.
rewire this
Yeah.
place?
That'd be like you going home and doing security for your
Standing
home.
outside.
Outside,
You think I don't stand there with a bat on the porch?
just all night long.
That's
just-
way more fun than rewiring a house.
That is way more
Yeah.
fun because you
Look,
can probably
next-
drink while you do it.
Next week, we're going to rewire the house and you're going to come help him.
Great.
Damn, dude. She's
didn't-
lying.
He didn't say no.
I know that was pretty.
Your little heart's made of gold.
Golden heart.
Dipped in shit, though. Fuck you guys.
That's right, but it's gold underneath. That's all
Yeah.
that matters is what's in the inside.
Aw.
Yeah, we're going to start having practice again. I'm not excited.
No, don't do it. Just
Oh, really?
quit.
What-
Why haven't you quit yet?
I don't know. What else am I going to do?
Not do that.
Because, I mean, I do like to get drunk and yell at a room full of people.
You could do
Or
that
7.
anywhere.
I just
That's what
say,
bars
Yeah,
are
but
for.
what? What?
That's what bars are for.
Well, yeah, but
You
now
don't have to be in a band to go to the
yeah,
bar.
but now they,
Well,
they
no.
don't throw me out if I do that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, if I just
then-
do it when I'm a patron there, they're like, get this drunk asshole out of here. But when I'm the entertainment,
9 times out of 10, you have more people's attention, too, when you're the entertainment.
Which is really crazy because they're paying you to be there. They could just not pay you, but instead, like when you're the patron, you're paying them to be there, and they make you leave. Like they're making less money.
yeah, it really seems like I've got it worked out.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Shit is backwards.
And that's why I don't quit.
Touche.
That's it. No, I don't know, dude. That's whatever happened to. I thought you were going to do comedy more often. Did you not dig it, or you
I
just been
love it.
waiting?
It's just I realize how much work it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a build up. You still gotta like work on a bunch of shit.
Yeah, gotta actually take the time
tough,
to do
ain't
it.
it?
Because like in between this and the band and like trying to write crap, like for
Fuck yeah.
shorts and things, it's like Jesus.
Well, and then living normal life and doing things that are required of you.
yeah,
and
dishes
having
take up a
rela-
lot of time.
I swear to
Dude,
God.
Every
Yeah.
morning, the last couple weeks, because it's been like packed busy, which I don't really care for. I like having like days off or at least half a day off here and there. But it's been like late night stuff, and I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I wish, and it's the only time in my life. Like I never wished this before, but I wish there was more hours within a day because I know I waste some. Let's face it, we all waste some time during the day.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's not that many. Back in the day, I thought days were so fucking long, especially in prison, like long ass days. Would you come to an end so I can get the next one? 365 of these I got to
Right.
get down to. And that's something that I wish that there was more hours within a day. Or at least they went a little slower for me. Shit.
Yeah.
Because you ever had a day where you're always running, you're getting something done, and you realize like it has flown back, like the amount of stuff you didn't really equate to how many, the 24 hours that are within a day. And it's like, I don't know, when you really gave effort and you notice how much you could get done in a day, it's really not that much. Even when you're putting in maximum effort, there's not that much.
No. Minimal payoff.
Damn, dude.
Damn. I think that most days, though, and I'm just doing, like I do, of course, company stuff and then, the house stuff and just doing that stuff. I'm like, how? Which, God rest her soul, now that Chainsaw's gone, I mean, I have a little more time because I'm not giving my whole attention to a creature, but she was a creature. But I definitely
Baby.
I couldn't tell who said that. Yeah, there's not enough time in a day sometimes.
No. Then if there were more hours in a day, we just
When will it fucking end?
just end up bitter. And
Yeah.
I accomplished less in a day now. Does that make sense, man? Yeah. Long days, they're tiring.
When I was a counselor, it's like the more patients I had for like once I got used to having that many, once I lost some,
Yeah.
I would have less work but couldn't get it done at the same volume that I could when I had more. It never made sense. It's like I couldn't figure out how to manage my time with fewer patients because it's used to chaos.
No, I don't know if I prefer chaos over it. I just don't know. Like when I'm like working my hardest at a job, like on a job, and I'm like, I definitely get this done in 4, and then it turns up to be 8. I'm like, what the fuck happened? But I mean, I was giving it my all. It's just like one problem entered another problem, and they were all time-consuming problems. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Tedious, time-consuming problems. I feel like a lot of times it's a little bit of focus during the day. Like you lose focus. Like when we do the podcast, I don't get a lot done because I'm focused on like getting to the podcast. We got to like separate time for that. I don't want to start something at 12 because might not be done before, you know.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things when you have things to do, it gets in the way of other things because of that fact when you have practice. I'm sure you have to get all your shit together to remember what the fuck, and it just gets in the way.
I just keep my shit in my car.
Oh, is that what you do now?
Yeah.
It's probably easier that way.
It is.
Atomic Habits would agree with you. It says to put your things in your way, like make the habit easier. And you have, my friend, you have.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I never think about it like that. It's just a matter of I don't want to bring it in.
Oh, you don't want to bring it into the
Sometimes
house.
Laziness is healthy.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
just lazy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Better watch out that you lock your doors though. Never mind.
Yeah, like people won't bust the fucking window
I
to
know.
take some shit that'll
And
give
now
them
my
a lot of
shit's
money.
my shit's taken and my window's busted.
Right.
But then you could be like, well, I can't come to practice. Then you get a day off practice now.
Do you all
I
have
have an extra amp.
renters or homeowners insurance?
Oh, for sure she
Probably.
does. Yeah.
You should definitely talk to her about that and see because it can extend to your vehicle if you put it on there.
Ooh, yeah.
And then I'll come rob it from you, and then you just like get the money for it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'm that
Where'd you
good of
get
a guy.
this cool amp? Found it.
Found it. That would be
Did you
fucked
find
up.
it around my car's glass in the street? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thought it was weird.
That's
Why'd you
awesome.
put it there?
No, that's I just wish there was more time for that kind of stuff, like things that I want to like things that I have a goal to get done.
Yeah.
But I feel like when it comes to like work, that's the thing that fucking interrupts the hobbies and shit you really want to do, is that massive amount of time. 8 hours is a big chunk of your day gone.
See, I think maybe those things aren't so much the things that we really want to do. It's just we want to not do the things that we do.
Oh, so we romanticize the things that we,
Yeah.
quote unquote, want to do.
'Cause, I mean, it's like whenever you're in school and shit, you're supposed to be writing a paper, but oh, look at this! Now I magically want to straighten my room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what do I want to avoid this day?
Yeah.
Ah.
And then if your hobbies were really the things you wanted to do, they would move beyond your hobbies to become your life.
Gotcha.
Because believe me, I have, well, I guess I don't, but it depends on the day. Every once in a while, I've got a day where it just seems like there's nothing to do. It's like I've done it all the days previous.
And you don't do a fucking
Nope,
thing, do you?
not a single thing. I got
swear.
all that jewelry and stuff in there that I could make because I truly enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
But
Not today.
actually, no, I'll
That's-
do that a different day.
I told her like trying to get around romanticizing like things of the past or whatever. Like I romanticize like whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not as good as you think it was. Whatever that thing or that time, what you're romanticizing it just because you're having a bad day.
Yeah, it's just a matter of storytelling so that you can have your life as it seems to you. And you're like, oh, yeah, my life hasn't been that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it comes down to. I think we romanticize like what could be of that habit. Like I'd be so fucking like whatever if I could
If
get
I
that
only
done.
had $10,000, I could do.
And in reality,
Blank.
it wouldn't be what you think it is. You're
It'd be
romanticizing
exactly like your
different.
fucking life is now. Believe me.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
what
matter.
I try to tell everybody. Like, even with like the company and making more money, actually, in my pocket than when I did at a different company. Like, it's not. It's still, if you're not happy with the here and now, you're not gonna be happy with the extra money, the better car, the better wife, whatever. It's not gonna happen.
You're just going to be able to make more mistakes more quickly.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
probably lose out and fall harder.
You're still shitty, so it's the
Still a
same.
bitch. No, I just that's something that I don't romanticize anything. Like it's not as good as you think it is. It's only as good as you make it, right? So like right
See,
now.
I'd rather romanticize things than to make it great because it's less effort.
Oh, romanticize. I don't know what we were watching. I think it was just like a goofy fucking movie, but the guy was like, I wish I knew it was the good old times during the times, right?
Yeah.
The good old days You know, you talk about, oh, those are the best good old days, but they're always in the past, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I wish I knew that I was in the good old days before it was the past, so I could have enjoyed it more, right? So I think we romanticize outside of the present moment so much that we miss the present fucking moment.
Because the present moment, we have to take into account all the things that we do that we don't want to do.
Right.
Whenever you look back at the past, you don't really
don't have to do all
think
that.
too deeply about the work that you did that you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I really miss that day in, day out grind. I miss that
hard
one
work.
moment that happened 4 months before this other awesome moment.
And that's why it's so important to be happy with the stuff you're doing, though, your job, your whatever, because otherwise it does suck. But if you're happy doing whatever, then you're good to go. It's always going to be the good times, and you'll have some days that aren't so great.
You know,
Some
that's-
days are just shit.
Yeah, it happens.
I preach that same thing. We think that way about being happy, and it's still tough. Even though, like, I and you are those type of people. Like, you know, we're just like enjoying what we have when we have it, right? Because we know how quickly it can be taken away. But there's still a portion that's like, well, what if I do hit 200,000, let's say, for next year? That'd be so. Like, I'm romanticizing about a future moment. Or I look back in the past, I'm like, man, I was so, you know, when I was working out and shit, oh, it was so good. But was it really? I mean, like, what was any of it for? You know, it was good in the present, but get the fuck over it.
Well, and if shit was so good back then, like, why wouldn't, you know, whoever is romanticizing it still be doing that shit? So, like, the example of working out, if it was so good, like, why aren't you working out all day, every day now? Like, because,
Because it wasn't that great.
Yeah, because it's not what you want to be doing right now. Like, you might have felt better, and, I mean, I think your physical health is important to you, so you should be doing stuff, but it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Your
I don't
life's
think
still the
anything's
same.
cracked
You're
up.
just doing whatever.
Plenty of happy fat people.
Yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
Maybe more
Yeah.
internally.
Maybe the
Internally.
reality of happiness is that it's in a Dorito.
Oh, it's definitely in a fucking Dorito.
Absolutely.
In a fucking Snickers bar. Oh,
Oh,
give me some happiness.
Tacos.
Actually, speaking of food, are you all hungry?
Absolutely.
We good?
hungry.
Yeah.
This was episode 90 motherfucking one
I'm gonna hit 91 times.
of our
Did you say
podcast,
91? Was that you? Like
which
Inglewood.
is the Wildly Uninteresting podcast with Adam, Ian, and Sarah.
Whoop-de-whoop,
I like how
91.
it's twice that I've said something and you don't know that it was me.
I know.
I'm right here.
Yeah, check out Ian's band, Gravel and Spiders.
Whoop, whoop.
That's it
Some
right
people
there.
say Gravzel and Spider.
Grassbills and Boo Balls. But no, check him out.
I think we've also been called Alabama.
That fucking hurts.
Really?
Jesus. He said really. I love you.
Is that true?
And
You fucking
you.
with me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You punk motherfucker. No, but we appreciate you listening. If you made it this far, like, comment, share, hit the notification, whatever. Just help our algorithm so we can reach more people that will actually comment and give us other things to talk about in their opinions, because we value your opinion.
Opinions.
Opinions.
But if you're an anti-vaxxer, you can go fuck yourself. Get immunized.
Yeah.
No, but thank you for listening.
Y'all are the worst.
We're out.
Don't do it. It's the
Skibbity
number of the
bop-bop.
beast. Da-da-da-da-da.
What?
Scat, scat.
Wildly Uninteresting podcast.